go live.
Okay.
That's us.
Very good. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Okay, 6 on. Going to give this a minute for a few people to log in before I go ahead and get started with the horoscopes. In the meantime...
Yep, we got a couple, Craig and Vanessa say we're sounding good and they can hear us.
Good volume. All right, thanks so much, guys. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for a few people to log in, I do want to make a couple quick announcements. The next Ask a Medium show here is going to be Wednesday, April 22nd at 9 p.m. However, when we hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, I'm taking the Ask a Medium show and Ask Ivy, and I'm combining them into one weekly show where I take all of your questions and I give your weekly horoscope. So please do subscribe, like, share, get other people to subscribe. It's moving very quickly at this point. Pretty exciting. I think we're at like 805 or 807 or something like that. And so at 1,000, we're combining, so this will be weekly. I also want to announce a special Ask a Medium show coming up on April 10th at 9 p.m. That's called In Trial Times. In Trial Times is exclusively for essential workers while we deal with COVID. Those suffering with COVID cases, those who have recouped, and those who are suffering financial distress or job loss, not in general, but from COVID. Okay, so unemployment, things like this. So exclusively for those people, that's April 10th at 9 p.m. I also have a virtual gallery show coming up Saturday, April 11th for $15. Everybody at my gallery show gets to ask one question, so you're guaranteed an answer. It's exactly like all the other shows that I do for the public or for private parties that I do, except we're online, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we have another free mini class coming up. I've been really enjoying these. People seem to be loving them. So check this one out. This is going to be on April 13th at 8 p.m. exclusively on YouTube. And it's called How to Ruin Your Reading. How to basically go in and just destroy it and make sure that you get nothing out of it. Okay, which is a major problem. It's called blocked energy. These are mistakes that a lot of people make when they come in for a reading. So we're going to break that down. And usually the things that people are doing in a reading to block the information is something that they do in their everyday lives. So this will actually be information that you can utilize every single day in every situation. So that's going to be interesting. So how to ruin your reading. Free mini class and Q&A coming up Monday, April 13th at 8 p.m. on YouTube. All right, welcome everybody. I think pretty much everyone is here. So welcome. I'm Ivy Rivera, Psychic Medium. This is the Ask a Medium show where I take your personal questions and I give your weekly horoscope. These questions can be anything. It could be about your love life. It could be about mediumship if you want to hear from a loved one. If you're looking for a lost object, you have a paranormal problem, spiritual development, questions for me. It could be anything. I do ask that you include a name of anyone that you're referring to. So whether this person be living or deceased, including your pets, please do put a name. Paul is more likely to take those that have a name, okay? So, and you didn't include that basic information, he's going to skip right over you because we don't have a lot of time on the show. We want to get to as many people as we can. So make your questions specific and efficient. And Paul, my lovely assistant over here, how are you, Paul?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Good. I'm doing well. He'll be taking those, okay? Now, before we get into your questions, but you could start posting them now, I am going to do your weekly horoscopes. Now, these horoscopes are general, so your sun, moon, your rising, this may be affecting you if these planets, okay, if this is your zodiac sign in any of those areas. This is not just about your sun sign. So pay attention. If something does resonate with you and you're like, yeah, but that's not my sun sign, that's why. It does apply because it is strong in your astrology, okay, chart overall. So these are for Sunday, April 5th to Sunday, April 12th. And like always, we are going to go ahead and start with Aries. Aries, what is going on with you for the week? Okay, interesting. Okay, couple different things. First off, we have Sunday, the 5th today, and there's some talk of love or relationships and some feminine energy coming in to help you out with all of that. And that to me feels more like grandmother energy, maternal energy. This could be living or deceased. This could be anyone with feminine type energy that mentors over you or assisted you while they were living. I have them coming in, talking about your love life and talking about how this is a time for you to perceive your love situation differently than what you've been. It's entirely possible that you've been dismissing someone, taking somebody for granted, that you maybe have love right in front of you and you've been overlooking it or you're unappreciative. This could be going on with somebody that you're already involved with, but it could also be going on with someone who's been there all along and you just really haven't seen them in the way that they are actually there for you, and it could turn into a romantic prospect here. My feeling is that in some of these situations, if you don't identify this person now, you do run the risk of losing them. So you're definitely going to want to invest in that. And I just feel a general attitude of gratitude toward people, okay, in general, but especially this this person giving you love. If you haven't been saying it up until now, show some grand gesture, okay, to make sure that it stays. Tuesday the 7th, I'm hearing that there's some brother type. This could be literally a brother. This could be anyone with male energy that is maybe more immature than you or younger than you. And this is someone living, I believe, that I'm referring to, who would be talking a lot, a bit out of control, seemingly very in need of your guidance. My feeling here is that what's smartest to do is for you to kind of pull away instead of getting engaged with it. Sometimes we have people in our lives that are very like, oh, you know, all the time. And you're like, okay, you know, the second you open the message from them, that's how it's going to go. And you have to like prepare your energy to roll and rumble with that. And it's almost as though you're engaging in the conversation, but you're an observer, not an absorber. And you're being more detached and you're just letting this person roll. So for you, Aries, whether this is one individual who's maybe younger than you or more immature, or this is in general a theme about you and relationships in your life right now, and this could even be circumstances. If there is something that kind of sucks you in and forces you to roll and tumble with it, you may want to be a bit more reserved on how you respond to that. Okay. On Wednesday the 8th, I'm hearing no more helping, no more helping. Now, this could very well be with the person that I just mentioned, but it could also be with a situation in general or another individual who is requiring your help or who is convincing you that they need your help, but they don't. Okay, I'm thinking about the job market right now and some people who want to get us back out in the job market while Corona's still going around. It's like, don't think so, not going to happen, you know, but then we're threatened. What does that mean for us financially if we don't go and things like this? It could be something like that you have to really get an upper hand on. It could be that this individual is not really in need of your help. And that's the thing. It's kind of calling a bluff here. It's saying, no, I think that you can handle that on your own. No, I'm sorry. You're going to have to take a hit just like I'm taking a hit. No, I'm not going to sacrifice my energy for you. So you're going to have to take a stand. And I think that the smartest thing to do is just to sort of act like you're invisible. You know, I think of Harry Potter and the spirit, your spirit guides are showing it almost like, you know, the Harry Potter blanket, the invisibility cape, I think they called it. And it's sort of like, nope, not here, not hearing you, not responding. I'm looking at you. I'm being present, but I am not responding to that. And I think that would be the wisest way to play that. Saturday, the 11th, I'm hearing about your money, and I'm seeing your money going backward a little bit. And what that can mean, anytime something is going over here to the past, and that's how they drew the arrow there, it's about money that you already have. Okay, so it's about money that's there either being stored up, or it would be money that you have been able to count on in the past. So whether it be a savings or it be like a normal pattern in paycheck or something like that, it feels to me like this is being called upon a bit, and called upon in such a way where you have to examine it and you're sort of saying, is that staying the same? Does that look like I can count on it going forward to look like it has in the past? What exactly does this mean? And you're sort of looking at it and you're saying, okay, I can't accurately predict everything that's going to be coming up, but I do have a gut feeling, and I'm just going to sort of roll with my gut feeling right now, and I'm going to move it and shift it where I think it needs to be, and I'm going to reprioritize a little bit. Now, on Sunday, the 12th, there's talk of your house. Now, anytime I see a house being discussed, this is basically going to mean that you're talking literally about the property that you reside in or property that you own, but it can also represent your body. You could say that it could also represent your life, okay? And my sense with this is that you're looking at it and you're trying to make repairs. It's almost like, let's say there was a leaky roof. That can literally mean for you guys that there is a leaky roof. It can also mean that your thoughts are leaking, okay? That if the attic or the roof, the top of the house represents in my symbol base your mentality, it means that there's something leaking. There's a hole in the boat. There's some kind of thought pattern that is toxic, okay? That should not be doing damage to the rest of the house. And so you're going to have to do an assessment on that. Now, the only other place that I really saw leaking was going on in the basement. And the basement is going to mean literally the basement or the bottom level of your property, or it's going to mean that you have stuff swept under the carpet, skeletons in the closet, unfinished business. And you're trying to just let the water kind of build, and you're saying, well, maybe it won't be that bad. But as you see water building up in your basement, eventually you have to say, oh my God, I've got a flood here. You know, this has to be drained back out. So we have some stuff going on in the attic, the mentality, and we have some stuff going on in the basement. Unfinished business that needs to be addressed. Okay, so be mindful of that as you go forward. Aries, have a great week. Taurus, what is going on with you, Taurus, for the week? Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. So on Sunday the 5th, there's talk of your spouse. This could just be your love partner. This could be anyone that you're involved with where you merge resources. And for some of you, I felt that it was about you. And there's talk of the mental health and the mental well-being. So when we're talking about your mental health and we're talking about the mental health and well-being of someone very close in your circle, today what that's going to mean for April the 5th is that it's almost like you're trying to get an upper hand on it, or you're trying to say to somebody, you know, hey, it's okay. we've got this, so everything's going to be great, but you don't believe that. So it's kind of hard to step up and really help someone who is flailing or drowning, quite literally. It's hard to help someone when you don't believe the positivity yourself. And I think that what's going to be important for you today, and clearly based on this issue going forward for quite a while, it feels to me like for the next 2 weeks intensely, but for the next month and a half for you, it's going to be important that before you put the oxygen mask on someone else, you're putting it on yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup, so to speak. You have to check your own mind first. And if your mind is flailing, you're not in a position to really offer a ton to anyone else. Sit there quietly if you have to and listen and be a support, but don't run your mouth. I think that the concept that you really need to grasp here is that this is a time for manifestation and focusing mentally on what it is that you want and trusting that the universe has your back and that there's a bigger lesson in some of the things that you or your spouse or whoever this is in close to you, is going through, and try to just focus on that. It's like, there's a lesson in everything. There's a bigger purpose to everything. Let's find out what that is. And while you're in the waiting place, waiting for all the pieces of the puzzle to come to you so that the situation can get better, we are going to focus on those lessons and why this is happening. And we're going to stay positive, not in a false way, not in the way that you're putting on a mask, of strength, but in the way that you're actually focusing on positivity. And having an attitude of gratitude might help you, okay? So during that time, you may want to come up with 5 things throughout the day. Every time you start to get down, 3 to 5 things. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. Okay, you stay solid. You can help others to stay solid. Monday the 6th, I'm hearing about older parents. So that doesn't have to be older. I think what Spirit is saying is that basically these are people that are older than you. So if we're talking about elderly, they could be related to you. They could not. You may find yourself in a position to need to care for them. You may find yourself in a position where they are possibly dealing with some transitions themselves that they're not very comfortable with, or new territory. And so you're coming in and you're bringing some peace and resolution to that situation. And I feel that you and possibly one other person may be the only ones who could really help, okay? So whether there are elderly around you in your neighborhood that you could help out more, or these are literally your parents or within your family, step up, reach out, and find out what you can do. Wednesday the 8th, I'm seeing needy children type, okay? So this to me felt like it could be work or money related, but it also felt like it could literally be your children. This could be anyone, though, who doesn't really step up to the plate. For some of you, I feel like this is going to be a spouse. Sometimes when you're with somebody who just doesn't know how to handle anything, themselves, they just tend to over ask. And it reminds me of when I'm feeling sick. I can't, and I like fake it. It's like, poor Paul. Right. It's like, I can't do anything. I can't even get a cup of water, So somebody is really requiring a lot more of you than what they actually need. And I actually get the sense that it's because, let's use the example of the boss. If this is a boss, I actually get the impression that maybe they're panicking, okay? For many of you that are teachers or educators, this could be someone within your school system, administration, a coworker who can't figure out the technology. I mean, it could be anybody but anyone who's just sort of flailing, you may have to go that day like, I'm putting this on mute. I'm putting myself on mute and I'm stepping away. I'm going to leave the computer system right here, and I'm actually going to go in the other room, make a cup of tea, go hide in the bathroom for a while. I can't do this. So there has to be a limit as to how much, okay, you're willing to give attention to that situation, and they refer to them as being children. I don't think for most of you that's going to be literal, but for some it will. Friday the 10th, there's talk of a phone call and money, talk of money in this phone call. And the Spirit wrote, shh, shh. So it's almost like there's some dialogue going on either over your bank account or a loan or a grant or money that you wanted to see coming in, money possibly connected to a spouse. For some of you, it feels like a job offer or some type of a gig or a contract, whatever it is. This one's going to span a little bit, okay, because it's a general message. So we're going to be looking at talk of the money over the phone. And it almost reminds me of a checking on an account, out or something like this. And it feels to me like what you're doing is really just sort of listening, and you're saying, you know what, I'm not really going to interact with this. I'm not going to make any decisions. I'm not going to necessarily sign on the dotted line. For those of you that have to, go ahead and do it. But for many of you who are unsure, hold off a bit. It's not true that this is your last opportunity. And listen, when they say shh, they're talking about shh, quiet yourself, quiet the left side of your brain, tune into the right side of your brain. This is where our intuitive intelligence is. Intuitive intelligence holds all of the answers, whether it be psychic or coming from spirit. Okay, mediumistic. So they're telling you what to do, and they're telling you how it's going to work out, but you have to listen to that. So be quiet and slow that process down. On Saturday, the 11th, there's talk of lights going on. And I felt for some of you, it was quite literally like communication through electricity and things like this. So we might be seeing more spirit interaction that way. But for many of you, it also felt to me like getting up there with your finances, like, oh, good, thank God, I could finally turn the lights back on or something like that. But for others, I really felt like it was an idea. So something coming to you that shows how things are going to play out over the course of the next 2 to 4 months for you, or resolution. Now on Sunday the 12th, there's talk of be bold with your money, but you're going to have a split situation where you have two options with the direction of your finances. You can either be bold and push your finances, your career, in a forward moving direction, but technically it falls into free will. So it's up to you. Or you can backpedal. And you may be thinking, well, I just really want to be logical right now. You know, that's the smartest thing to do, or I'm just going to hoard it. And you pass up an opportunity, and that technically would have been the wrong answer. That would actually be backpedaling for you. So be mindful of options. Okay, let's see what's going on. Geminis. My fellow Geminis. Okay. So a couple different things. Sunday the 5th, I'm hearing healing and talking. Healing through talking. So you may be finding yourself in a situation, kind of like what I'm doing right now, and I am Gemini, where you are talking to others, or you are communicating out healing concepts, possibly even inadvertently, to larger groups of people, and it's being very well received in some capacity. So today may be a day where you want to be very mindful that you're kind of, on stage, so to speak, or you're put in that position, and that your words do count, and that people are really connecting with what it is. And it's not just going to be in the short term. It feels to me like the information that you're giving them is something that they can use. Okay, so it's a wise investment. So don't be shy to talk today, or post, or whatever it is. Put your words out there. On Monday the 6th, I'm hearing promotion. And what this looks like to me is that there may be somebody, almost like a scouting situation. There may be somebody watching you. There may be, whether it be like a network or someone in a position of authority who has done what you do, or there may be in a situation where they could move you up a level with what you do. I see somebody offering you a promotion. And on a larger scale, just to make this general, it does feel to me like the universe is sort of offering you a promotion. And it looks as though this could change the course of things. Okay, so whether it actually arrives tomorrow or it arrives within the next 3 weeks, it feels to me like it's going to change the course of the way that you do things. Now, this doesn't have to be a huge new direction. It's almost like you kind of knew that it was coming. It's not really derailing you in any way, but more time and attention would certainly be going to that, and that will be long term. Wednesday the 8th, there's talk of, my handwriting is so sloppy, I don't even know like what I write. So let's not have to do this twice. So we're going along with Taurus energy. So I see someone, when I see Taurus energy, I see someone who would be very maybe rooted and grounded and loving, but stubborn, funny and into materialism. I saw this type of energy either surfacing within you or someone coming to you, a situation presenting itself with that type of energy that could very well cause you to go backward, that could cause you to backpedal. So if there is anything within yourself that you're trying to be less stubborn about, less materialistic about, or, someone is trying with this type of energy in their chart, trying to engage you in something that is actually going to cause you to be overly emotional or unstable, you're really going to want to be on guard for that. Now, on Thursday the 9th, there's talk of a gift, money, play, and music. And what this felt like to me was that you're being asked to join. It's not necessarily just going to fall in your lap and you take it. You have to actively be willing to engage in it. But there is someone or a situation trying to get you to be uplifted through a gift. And it's almost like saying, oh, I don't have time for that. I have to focus on work. Things are too stressful right now. There's no place for that right now. This is a time to be steady and focused. And it's almost like the universe is testing you a bit. And if you are willing to play and to feed your soul the way that you should that day, which is only really going to require that you're being mindful, be mindful of the energies around you that are calling you to engage. If you can get out of that focus, I actually feel like that's where the prosperity is. And all types of prosperity will come in from that engagement. So we like to think of things logically, and it doesn't work that way. Sometimes through playing, you get new job opportunities, you have new money coming in, you get new networking, red lights turn green, all kinds of things can happen just because you did what your soul was supposed to do. It doesn't have to be logical. Pay attention. Friday the 10th, I heard sit still. Okay, make sure you sit still. And the way that felt to me was that you might be getting pushed either by a situation or people or an individual. You may feel that you have to move forward with something, but it's a bit of an illusion. My sense here is that you're supposed to be listening very carefully to divine timing. And if you go with the flow, if you go with the rush, if you go with the sheep and the herd and the crowd, it's almost like you're not within divine timing, even though it looks like that's when you should move. So you're going to want to listen very carefully to that. I always say to my spirit guides, when I hear the gun go off, then I know that's when I go. I don't care what everybody else is doing. That's when I go. And so I'm on an opposite schedule from everything else. And it works time and time again. So learn divine timing, okay? Not logical. Sunday the 12th, there's talk of your money 2 times over going in forward directions. And I feel like I'm revisiting something that I said earlier in the week about like a promotion or you being scouted or something like that. So this is most likely going to connect, doesn't have to, but most likely it's going to connect to something that was going on earlier in the week where you have an opportunity to go forward in 2 separate directions and create prosperity in your life. So enjoy, Gemini. Have a great week. Be safe. My fellow Cancers, what is going on with you guys? Do we want to let... Okay. All right. Well, a couple different things. On Sunday the 5th, I'm hearing that you may have something going on with love that's causing tears or heartache, heartbreak. Cleansing process is necessary here. There's a sense of sadness and there's a sense of loss. So whether this is literally, deceased, or this is the threat of it, or this is understanding that there's a separation and a divide between you and someone else. There is a general sense of letting go of what once was. And for many of you, this felt that it was coming in the heart, which in my symbol base is typically going to mean that it's some type of a relationship, you in a relationship with someone else. And it could be anybody, okay? Child, parent, lover. And I think that some of you may very well be feeling this with work and money, but it would be the type of position where you poured your heart into it, okay? It's not going to your office job that you despised for the last 15 years. It would definitely have to be pulling at the heartstrings. So my feeling with this today is just let it go, okay? Sometimes part of the healing process and to get things moving forward so that it's not as painful down the road is to really accept it and to embrace it and to say, you know what, I'm going to give it what it was worthy of having with my attention. I'm going to honor it and I'm going to release. All right. So I see that needing to go on. There's talk on Monday, the 6th, of prosperity going forward once. Talk on Tuesday, the 7th, of prosperity going forward twice. And then it leads directly into Wednesday, where I see 3 and the word astrology. Okay, so and open windows. So what that's going to mean in spirit lingo here is that we have things building. So it's almost like Tuesday 1, Wednesday 2, what did I say? Tuesday, and then it's like Wednesday 3, and it's like all of these hits of prosperity potential doesn't mean that you don't have anything to do with it. Now, here's something, I just put up a free mini class called Free Will versus Destiny Charted Future. And I think people really enjoyed that. I would like your feedback below on that. I've been doing more of these, but Free Will versus Destiny Charted Future is understanding the difference between plop, I'm going to win the lottery. This is a lottery aspect. This is destiny charted. This thing is going to fall into my lap and I'm just going to scoop it up and enjoy it, versus free will, which means, yes, maybe I can have this, but there's stuff I have to do in order to get it. Okay. It's not just a freebie. So what's interesting is that as I see these opportunities building for you, it's almost like on that 3rd day, you have to make a move. And one of the things that you're examining is that they are open windows of opportunity, and they are astrologically planted there, which means that planetarily you have a bit of a lottery aspect. You have some openings for prosperity where you could make decisions that would be smart, leading to greater success in all 3 of those areas. My understanding of what Spirit was showing me was that they're actually connected somehow. So you'll have to do an analysis on that or what that means. And don't expect all of them to be visible. Okay, so if some of you are like, well, I don't get it, it doesn't apply, it's probably something that you don't understand yet. It's behind the scenes. It doesn't mean that it isn't there. So just follow your gut instinct on the decisions that you need to make to take advantage of a lottery aspect of prosperity here. It's pretty great. Thursday the 9th, I'm seeing an increase in a relationship. And the way that felt to me was like many of you will be receiving a proposal. You may be choosing to get married. If we're still allowed to do that right now, I don't know. It depends on where you are, I guess. But it almost felt to me like an increase in a relationship. Now, for some of you, this could be bringing a baby into the family, bringing a pregnancy into the family, getting an approval on foster care, adoption, getting a dog. I mean, it could be getting your kid a hamster. I mean, it could be anything. But I'm seeing growth with the family and growth in the love life, the relationship itself. And when it really broke down for the majority of you more to love itself, the way that it felt to me was that you and your love partner are choosing to elevate this thing in some capacity. So even if we don't want to call it marriage or engagement, we would say that we've decided to maybe commit, okay, or stop talking to other people, something like this. So I feel that there's clarity, okay, and everyone getting on the same page that day. Friday the 10th, advice from a friend below you. Now, that sounds a little arrogant because sometimes when we have an idea about how somebody is, or some people have this idea about everybody, that everyone's sort of, no one has anything to offer them. Sometimes we need to humble ourselves and we need to say, okay, maybe this person isn't traditionally someone that I would listen to. I'm maybe not going to this person for advice. However, we can literally learn from everybody around us something. Everyone around us is capable of showing us something, even if it's what you shouldn't do. So I have you observing this person in this situation and taking it into consideration. Okay, you're going to really need to. There was also talk on Sunday the 12th about your house. Now, if you were listening earlier, you know that the house actually represents your body or your life. And this is doing some spring cleaning, clearing some things out, and doing an evaluation. How are you doing? Okay, so stop and focus on you that day. Leos, what is going on with you this week? Money, 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 money. Money, money, Leos. Okay, interesting. Seems like Leos may be really benefiting a lot actually through, okay, some of these changes that are going on. Okay, so on Sunday the 5th, I'm hearing stop helping, and that there's something going on with technology where maybe you're doing better than other people. So if you work in one of the fields where it's, say you're an educator, okay, where everything literally has shifted from being, hands-on to online and whatnot, you may find yourself in a position, I'm just like so hot. Can you open that door for me? So you may find yourself in a position where you need to almost make sure that your boat doesn't get sank, okay? Like someone's trying to hold onto your boat, or they're using you as a life raft, and they're like, help me, and I see you over technology dealing with this and saying, I really can't help you with that. And I think that sometimes there's no polite way to say it. So you may have to just sort of disassociate yourself or act like there was a glitch or something. You're unavailable in some way. But I feel that there may be better resources than you anyhow. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. Like you're just not really equipped anyways. And it's not necessarily your position. So be mindful about what is your responsibility and what is not. And don't feel obligated. I posted something yesterday, I think it was, that said, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. And that's not to be cold-hearted. Literally, if you start doing it in one area, how many other areas are you going to do it in? Don't get caught up in a cycle where you're not being mindful about what you're supposed to do and what is not your job. Other people are going to have to step up, and I even want to say other people in authority are going to need to step up to make sure that everyone has what they need. And if you keep compensating, it's slowing down that process. Let it fall. Let it do what it needs to do. But I do see you, if you make that decision, actually being promoted in some way, which is interesting. Now, on Monday the 6th, I'm seeing your money going forward twice over in a forward-moving direction, which is going to mean that it could be your money as well as your spouse's money, your money and a loan, your money and something else. But two areas of your life financially, both of them moving in a forward direction. One of them seems to be moving at a pretty rapid rate, and the other one seems slow. But I'm hearing from your grandmothers here, the tortoise and the hare. It doesn't mean you're not going to win the race and you're perfectly fine. So let's have an attitude of gratitude that it is moving. That's what's important to know. Now I see this increase continuing on Tuesday and Wednesday, turning into 3 potential outlets of prosperity that look to me a little bit like, for those of you that are willing right now to make adjustments. Let's say that traditionally, you've been working in a medical office, and now you're having some opportunities because you're doing that type of work from home. You're having some opportunities to maybe finish up your degree, in counseling, and to get more get your hands dirty more, to do more with people directly. Like, you always kind of wanted to help people, but not doing paperwork in a medical office. You actually want to be able to talk with them and help them and listen and things like this, more organically. And it's your opportunity to do that. If you are moving forward in whatever capacity it is that you feel is part of your life contract, your soul's purpose, your life calling, if you're taking those steps in blind faith forward, you are going to find yourself in a unique position to have almost like the cup runneth over type of abundance coming to you. Okay, so let's take advantage of that. Thursday the 9th, I see top of the mountain, and parents take care. This can mean that you, as a parent, take extra care of your kids on that day. Check in with them, see what's going on. Is there maybe anything that they're not saying? I understand, children and many adults, right, have trouble processing everything. So it could come out through anger. It could be aggression, irritability, emotional meltdowns. My empathic awareness training can help a lot. I have parent to child empathic awareness training coming up. But be mindful of your kids. Now, for some of you, it felt to me like be mindful of your parents or the elderly. So there could be a change in circumstance there. I saw your parents or these elderly around you, aunts, uncles, it could be anyone, but just kind of smiling and being like, I'm okay, I've got it, but maybe they don't got it. Okay, so dig a little deeper, push a little harder, make that extra phone call, go the extra mile, stop by and drop some stuff off. Keep your distance and just be like, do they look okay? Just double check and make sure everything's all right there. I was also seeing the top of a mountain, which is going to mean that on that day, you're also overcoming something pretty incredible, like a burden, or an obstacle, something that's been there for you for a fairly significant period of time. For some of you, it seems like it was the last 8 to 9 months, possibly 7. And for some of you, it's even been like the last 6 to 7 years or 10 years. There's some type of an obstacle, and it's like you're getting to the end of it, possibly a court case, but it could really be anything. So enjoy that. I was also hearing on Saturday the 11th, could be an ex or an old lover or some type of a temptation coming back around, and you may want to just observe and be quiet and don't feed it. Virgo, what is going on with you guys? Round and around, around and around. Okay, is that here? Okay, so on Sunday the 5th, I'm hearing about love, and I'm feeling like something going backward in your love life. Now, this could also, because it's the heart chakra, and the way I do my readings, this could also be any type of relationship where you're closely connected with someone and it affects you, in your heart, so to speak. So what I was feeling with this was that we could have some backpedaling going on here, and it could be coming from the fact that you recently felt that you were supposed to reach out, extend yourself. You were supposed to really try to work with the communication. You were trying harder to take this relationship and mend it and get it up to higher ground. And even after putting in that effort, and I feel that this was hard for you, even after putting in that effort, you're seeing some things with this other person that would maybe look like an exposed pattern of negative behavior or something that they were hiding, or what a lot of people do is they give you lip service, even if it's well-intentioned, you know, and they think, oh, well, I'll change, or I'm going to say that I'm going to change, but a month or two later, it looks exactly the same. I see you examining this and saying, you know what, this just really isn't cutting it for me. And it feels kind of heavy in the heart. So I see you quickly sort of putting on a mask of strength and being like, well, it's okay, I'm not bothered. That's what I expected. But I think that it's going to be good for you to be really honest and not drag the situation out. Set the proper boundaries. If you have to leave them, then go ahead and do that. Whatever is going to be best for you in the long run, because now you have confirmation that this is a pattern behavior. This isn't going anywhere or whatever. Okay. And you have to deal with the evidence in front of you to preserve yourself. Monday the 6th, I'm hearing about good advice, possibly in regards to this, but it feels like it could be in regards to some other stuff that you're dealing with also financially. Just processing. I just have you processing a lot. And I have female and male energy, masculine and feminine energies coming to you from the spirit world and from the living on that day, giving great advice. Don't forget that humans are the mouthpiece for God, and that sometimes whether you ask or not, just what you needed to hear at just the right time pops up in that exact moment, and you just feel like, oh my God, like spirit is speaking to me, or I can't believe the synchronicity on that. Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, so you're going to want to take that and apply it. Wednesday the 8th, there's talk of a house, and there's talk of purchase. Now, a house can also represent you. As I said with the two other readings, house can represent that you're doing an assessment on how well your standing is physically, mentally, emotional, or, you know, your life. How does everything look? But for some of you, I felt like it was the purchase of almost like new ways of life for yourself, or literally a property. So you may be finding that some of you are finally in a position to figure out how to move forward with an investment or a residency that you like and want. Thursday the 9th into Friday the 10th, I heard reconfigure. It was almost like reconfigure your money and slow it down, because it's almost as though money's going to be going forward. Prosperity is going to be going forward. Things are going to be moving, but you also want to do a quick evaluation. Again, you don't always have to go with the flow of things. Sometimes you can dictate in what time things happen. When free will is involved, you technically control that. So don't be shy to utilize that power play. Now, you are going to be looking at it for approximately 48 hours. You're going to be saying, okay, well, yes, it seems to be moving very quickly, but what else can I reconfigure? If I go back and I look at the figures, you know, did I dot my I's, cross my T's? Did you read the fine print? Is there anything that you can erase, get rid of, clear out, anything where it might be draining you going forward financially, mentally, energetically, whatever it is? What do you no longer need, and what do you want to keep? If you keep what is of most profit, then your profits can double, triple, quadruple possibly. If you keep half the junk you don't need, you know, the ultimate outcome won't be as high. On Sunday the 12th, I'm hearing a record. It's like, what is that song? Round and round and round. Something, you probably know that whole album, right? You know what I'm talking about?
So you talking about Dead or Alive? You spin me right round.
You spin me right round.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. You
Yes.
spin me right round, baby, right round.
I made
Like
that.
okay. So Paul probably has like 12 t-shirts from it. So so that's what I'm hearing for you on Sunday. And the feeling that I got with it was that, well, and you can go back and listen to the song lyrics for yourself. It's going to apply to you in some way. But my feeling with it too was that you don't want to be overly cyclical in the way that you handle things. So if you find yourself doing the same old thing again and again and again and again, you may want to stop that record from being on repeat. Libras, what is going on with you this week? Ooh. Okay. All right. So, well, okay. So on Sunday the 5th, we have some talk here of you setting an example and doing something kind. I thought it was interesting that you may have found that you wanted to do something kind, but you weren't doing it, you know, so that everybody could see you. It was something that you just intended to do maybe behind the scenes and for the very honest purpose of being helpful to those in need right now. And it would appear that it's being watched regardless. So there could be several other people, possibly some type of an organization, you know, a community, or individuals like children or people who are more immature or people who are younger or something like that. Okay, so it's almost like you took on involuntarily a mentor type of a position in doing this act of kindness, or someone ropes you in and says, oh, I like the way she thinks. Oh, I like the way he thinks. Look at this little thing that he offered to do for the community in need right now, or something like that. And they said, come here. Okay, be a part of this, or can you help with this? So it seems to be leading into something bigger. Ultimately, it feels to me very personal. So there could be people that you're almost mentoring over involuntarily who watch you like your children, okay, or like anyone younger who looks up to someone who can come in with a strong position of leadership and say, okay, look, you know, this is what can be done here. This is how things can be improved upon. Here's what we're going to do. And you just sort of take charge. It just feels to me like, who am I talking to? Libras? So that makes some sense. I mean, I guess that's how you guys are. And there's that charming element going on here where it's very much like you're in your domain, even though it's not your domain. And so it's very much like people want to have you around, and people want to learn and follow you. Okay, so I feel good about that. Make sure you're taking the time to do this. Now, on Monday the 6th, I heard spice it up, and it felt to me like cooking some Puerto Rican food or something in the kitchen, or, you know, it felt to me like cooking, and it felt like in the bedroom. So I think we're talking sexually, but I also think that we're talking about food in the sense that food is medicine. Okay, the kitchen is symbolic of you feeding your body, feeding your mind, feeding your soul. I saw you cooking for other people. And my feeling here was that you were putting love and attention into it, but also the fact that it was spicy felt to me like it was kind of fighting. Okay, so if we were to talk about like vitamin C being able to fight off infection or virus, you know, things like this. So my feeling here is that you're trying to be more mindful about what you're putting into your own body, but also encouraging others around you to do the same. And that would probably be family and friends, but it could be on a larger scale as well. My feeling here sexually is that it sort of speaks for itself, and this is a rated G show. So, you know, I just feel that if you've been having some stagnancy in your love life, this may be a time to either get out there, no time like the present to update your profile and to get on a dating site. What else is everybody going to do? You know, there's a lot of room here for sexual adventure. Okay, so whether you're committed or not, check it out, have fun. Wednesday the 8th, I saw, as well as Thursday the 9th, some type of a program. I think that this is more connected to what I saw a little bit earlier, because it goes all the way into Friday the 10th, where you may be put into a position where you're speaker of the house, they said. So you could find yourself being thrown into a position, or finally getting a position that you wanted. For most of you, I feel like you're rather surprised by it, and you're being asked to head something up. It felt to me like a program, a new venture. It could be just even that your place of employment is now structuring everything to be online, and you somehow get tossed into that. But regardless, I feel you finding yourself in a position of leadership where you're helping others, because it's like you're not finding it very difficult to save yourself. okay, or you already did. So maybe you're a little bit ahead of the game, something like that. Now I feel profit in that long term. Sunday the 12th, I do see, which is interesting because then here we go into Sunday the 12th, and I'm seeing your money go backward a little bit. Okay, so just here's a good way to say this. Sometimes, one thing's going forward and the other thing's going backward, and it's like, oh my God, I'm always even Steven, or it's like, I can't just catch a break here. And I think what's going to be really important is to focus on what is going right, what is going in a positive moving direction, and give a lot of extra time and attention there. And whatever seems to be going backward here with your finances, I feel like don't give it too much of your attention, because a lot of it could end up working itself out in the next couple months anyways. So don't be threatened by talk of something. Scorpio, what is going on with you guys? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So this is kind of interesting. For you guys, I see some media advancement and outlets, and we'll work our way up to that. So Sunday the 5th, I'm seeing you going almost like backward in a way. And so today you may be feeling as though you're not handling your emotions very well, you're not handling your mental state very well. Maybe you're not handling circumstances in a way that feels to you like it's with a growth mindset and advancing and going in a positive, uplifting direction. It's more spiraling out of control. And I think that it's going to be really important to stop that dead in its tracks. You have to remember that even when you feel out of control, it doesn't mean that you are out of control. And when people constantly come to me and say, well, how do I get more in control? Well, how do I get more in control? Well, if you were already given all the tools, you apply them. You use self-control. You decide in those moments when you feel it spiraling out of control that you're not going to do that, that you're going to stop your thoughts, you're going to replace them with what's healthier, and that will affect your emotions. That will affect your behaviors and the outcomes. So get control. Monday the 6th, I'm seeing a brother or a friend, like a male friend or someone with male energy coming to you and almost having like bad behavior or some kind of negativity. And we want to be loving as much as we can, to siblings and friends and our, spouses and parents and everyone. But right now, so many people are spiraling out of control. And it's almost like once you get your own self fixed, somebody else is doing it, So I think that this is going to be a situation where someone is coming to you and trying to get you to engage, and you're very, very tempted. This is someone that you like. This is someone that you maybe love even. It could also be a situation. So don't rule out, okay, because it did come with male energy. So it can even sometimes have that little influence of authority in it. It could be a situation that's coming to you, enticing you to come and engage with it, but you know that it's not good for you. You know that it's going in a downward direction. You know that you have already learned that lesson, and that whatever they're saying or the situation is trying to encourage you to do is just going to bring your energy level down, and you may have to set some proper boundaries there. Wednesday the 8th, I'm seeing maternal advice. Okay, so there's a little talk of the 8th and moms, sisters, grandmothers, aunties, living or deceased maternal energy. This could even be a male who has a lot of feminine or caretaking energy, but coming to you and giving some really good solid advice on your life. And this could be through dreams. This could be if your ears are ringing. They could be putting thoughts in your head. Pay attention to posts, memes. It could literally be anything, but that would also be a good day to reach out if you're having trouble with something. reach out and find out what the wisdom of the females, okay, in your life at that time is, because it's almost as though all the answers are there. And if you're trying to move forward in a situation, but you're not positive, or you think you know, they will either confirm it or they will tell you exactly what needs to be done. And I feel like a light switch off. Okay, if you've been conflicted about a situation or a decision in your life, it's almost like the light switch goes off and you're free and clear. Okay, so that is a huge change in the way that you've been thinking and feeling about something when that switches. Thursday the 9th, I saw shelter and getaway and a house. So for you, you may be feeling on Thursday that you need to shelter yourself. And that could be anything from turning off the news, social media, to talking to people in general less, or quite literally going inward and sheltering yourself, being introspective. It also represented you by the house. Now, for some of you, again, what does the house mean? It can mean move or relocation, figuring out property, getting the go-ahead on a property. But for others, it's going to be more about the body and the life circumstance. So you're taking shelter within yourself and your life. And I feel that that's also a day, whether you are literally buying property or relocating, I think that it's a day for you to examine everything that you've accomplished and to take a lot of pride in that. So look at how far you have come and really embrace that. Encourage your own self. I also saw a job potentially coming up on Saturday the 11th. And on Sunday the 12th, I saw writing, speaking, and YouTube and things like this. So on Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th, we could be looking at a combination of circumstances where possibly you're offered some type of, whether it be part-time work, could be full-time, but it felt to me like it was almost like a side hustle, or like a new gig, or like you're picking up on some kind of work that you feel is fun. You feel it's really light. And it's almost like you feel that this doesn't require a ton of your mind, but it allows you to be more creative. And then on Sunday, I was seeing, for those of you who do anything with artwork, music, the media, speaking, writing, it felt to me like you were giving your voice out to the world, and it was being very widely received. I also feel you being very, very humorous, kind of nutty on that day, and people responding to it very well. So get out there, get on the media. Sagittarius, what is going on with you? How are we doing?
Good.
Okay. It was very informative.
It's a little long.
What's long? Me? Long-winded, you think? Okay, so Sagittarius, what is going on with you for the week? Okay. Okay. On Monday the 6th, I'm seeing you in a vehicle going backward. And what that's going to mean is that you are potentially giving up some of your control, giving up some of your power. You're possibly deciding that you're going to get tied up in your emotions or patterns of thinking that aren't really helping you at this time. And so you're really going to want to be mindful that you stay in a position of control and power. And if it is also bothering you at night, it's very hard when we're dozing off to control our dreams and things like this. We feel like we're getting carried away or swept up with everything. Use lucid dreaming techniques. Up on my website, it's called Dreams Class. It can help you to keep that positive mindset and keep that control even when you're sleeping. And that is a critical time for you right now. Wednesday the 8th, I'm seeing 2 potential increases with your prosperity, but it is going to require that you have the right mindset. So there are two different areas of your life where we could be seeing movement, but it has to do with the way you're thinking about it. For some of you, I feel almost like there's something in front of you and you're saying, it reminds me of a kid who has like meatloaf and, you know, vegetables, and he's like, I don't want this, you know, and your mother says, well, there's starving children in Africa, and you're like, I don't care, and the peas go flying everywhere. It's like, I don't want it. You know, or in tarot, right? It's the guy who doesn't want to touch the cup. He's like, no, I don't want the cup. So there could be a situation here. Well, there are two, but there's one in particular that you just don't see clearly. You think, well, I don't want that, or that's not it, or I didn't work for that. You know, that's not going to get me anywhere. You're wrong. And if you eat your meat and vegetables, you know, everything can't be dessert. If you eat your meat and vegetables, it will get you there down the road. Okay. Some of these opportunities may also involve somebody else coming in and trying to convince you, all right, to take it. Now on Thursday the 9th, I heard now or never. And that to me feels like it has a lot to do with your resistance. This could be in love. This could be in work, but to me it felt like love or a relationship in some way where possibly you have decided to stall. It is now or never that you make a decision to propel things forward. It is now or never that you make a decision that this is the right person for you, or this is the right position for you, this is the right house for you. You know, this is a circumstance that is not working for you and you have to leave. But things will stay the same for the majority of you if you just stay on, and it can't be that way. So if this is someone, especially, I want to say in love, if this is someone who you've been giving lip service to, you've been just sort of keeping them on the string, you know, you really need to come from a place of kindness and set them free if you're not willing to commit to that. And, you know, for some of you, it also look like maybe they're a bit manipulative, like they're almost like always, you know, dissatisfied and always waiting for you to maybe propose or something like that. But you've said, you know, I don't want that. I'm happy being single or keeping this light, and they just don't want to hear it. You may have to be very direct. You know, if you find yourself in a situation where you don't want to commit to someone and they don't want to hear that, so they keep living in this fantasy world and thinking that, you know, you're going to get married, you need to say once and for all, I'm cutting you off. You know, I'm cutting you off. That is your responsibility. Don't just keep going to bed with them or whatever. Okay, on Saturday the 11th, we have you looking backward at your finances and your career, and you're asking, where has it been? So you're doing an analysis on everything that you've built up, all the training that you've had, education that you've had, what you've built into your portfolio, let's say, and you're analyzing, is this where I really want to be? And am I in a good position right now to make some adjustments? And I think it's really important that you're not just looking at this from a career perspective, but also from a financial perspective, because you do have the opportunity over the course of the next, it looks planetarily like 2 to 3 years, to increase, maybe even triple what you've been pulling in. So be mindful. On Sunday the 12th, I'm hearing brother, investment, and halting. On the 12th, I heard someone either in a position of authority or a brother, a friend, a male energy coming in, talking to you about, come on, let's do this. Come on, let's do this together. This will be great. Let's move forward and invest in this thing. And you just being very sort of stuck in the mud. Oh, I don't think so. I don't want to think out of the box. You know, I don't feel like entertaining that right now. And my feeling was, okay, that's fine. But, you know, do listen and at least allow your thoughts to go along with it. Don't cut that conversation off or shut it entirely down just yet. Capricorn, what is going on with you for the week? Okay. So we have on Sunday the 5th, there's talk of healing and you and a child watching. So my sense with this was that there could be someone more immature than you, someone you're mentoring over voluntarily, involuntarily, or a child, coming to you and making you feel like they really want to engage. And through that engagement, it actually ends up healing you more. So I think this is a really beautiful exchange going on here, because while the child or the younger person or the more immature person was looking for more mental, stimulation and things like that, you actually needed it on an emotional and physical level. And so I think this is an important time to look at people who maybe we didn't suspect might have that type of ability to enlighten us. On Monday the 6th, I saw love +2. Now, this could be two relationships of any kind that pull at your heartstrings or that are in your heart, meaning you love these people, brothers, sisters, parents, anything. But for many of you, it felt to me like it was romantic. And I saw 2. So I see an increase in those relationships where you're coming closer together. And for many of you who are out there open to something new, you may actually attract 2 new love partners. And this could be looking very much like, how do I want to say this? I don't want to say that they look the same. I just feel like they're both of value. Okay. So it could be that both of these relationships are helping you to feel stronger, more optimistic, and in the love capacity, it could be a little overwhelming. Could be like, what? Okay. Everything at once. It rains and, or it pours, or there's a drought. On Tuesday the 7th, I'm seeing your vehicle going in a forward-moving destiny charted direction. Now, that is going to represent you. The car, unless you are getting a new car, it's new lease, something like this, could be. But for the rest of you, it's going to represent that you are moving forward and that you are feeling very much in control for the first time in a very, very long time. And one of the things that I was feeling with that was that you could have been feeling very claustrophobic for a while, either from your circumstances making you uncomfortable or there being too many people, some type of oppression around you. And now it just feels wide open, like you're on the road, top down on the car, in a power position, feeling confident, rooted, grounded, secure. And I think you really need to ride that out and enjoy it. On Thursday the 9th, there was talk of get out of the house, okay, and go forward. And while that's difficult, and by no means am I actually encouraging that, I think what Spirit is talking about is finding an opportunity to get out of your circumstances. So I don't care if you go on a journey to Egypt in your brain, you go on some deep meditation, you get a reading and you really get engaged with that, you take a class, you need to find a way to get out of your stagnant circumstance that you're in. And this is actually really going to affect you, even 3 days after. So break out of a pattern that you've been in and shake it up on that day. It is important. On Sunday the 12th, I'm hearing old lovers and mothers. So many of you will be hearing from maternal energies, living or deceased, anyone who mentors over you, and possibly some, whether they be exes or they're just relationships that you're no longer engaged in the same way that you were. This could be mental, emotional, or literal, but I have these things resurrecting and sort of a feeling of nostalgia, but also a feeling of help. And so it's very possible that you're going to be learning from those relationships, whether they be literal or their memories, and taking more out of that. I always say that, even into the grave, we're not done learning from the relationships and the circumstances that we've been through. We continue to build off of those. It's just at different periods of your life, something becomes super relevant where it may not have been previously. So be mindful of that coming up. Aquarius, and I'm down to one more. Aquarius, what is going on with you for the week? Okay. You coming up here, Jesus?
Hanging out on the bookshelf.
Oh, wow. Okay, so This is interesting. On Monday the 6th, going into Tuesday the 7th, I'm seeing you being super helpful. And I have some of you saying, I am, I am. I don't feel like I am, or I don't feel like I have anything to give right now. Like, am I? Well, yeah. I mean, if you are, you are. If you're being a good listener, or you're being there as much as you possibly can, you're helping people to stay strong, then yes, you are. But it's not about quantity, it's about quality. You're doing it from the heart. You're doing it in a simple way, and it is being watched. So I have blessings from God. I have blessings from, your ancestors, angels, and guides, sort of raining down upon you. And there will be more of that as you go forward. So thank you for doing that. On Thursday, the 9th, there's talk of someone coming in to lift your load. And they felt to me like young men. And that can be symbolic of strength. So I see that you may be going through some difficult circumstances. And there are people who are coming in who can carry that for you, or who can help just a little bit with the fine detail, who can help you to maybe get from A to B, okay? Even though you can't get all the way from A to Z, they can help you get from A to B. And what's really important on both of those days, because this also comes up on Friday the 10th, I have grandmothers, mothers, aunties from the other side talking to you about have an attitude of gratitude. When you're down and out, but help is coming in, identify that help, feed it with positive energy, celebrate it. You are going through a period of time for many of you where you are either examining others and learning from it, or you directly are going through so much change that you have had to reevaluate what prosperity is in general. And prosperity for you right now might be in the simplest, littlest things. And I think that's a great place to be. Okay, but you have to learn those lessons and embrace it, and not label it as not enough, or not what I used to have, or not what I want to have. Stop wanting more and appreciate it for what it is. On Sunday the 12th, I'm hearing from your father, grandfather's paternal energy. I heard stop crying. Well, it's a typical thing for a guy to say, right? Just stop crying. But they're good at it. There's a time to toughen up. There's a time to be like, okay, you know what? I've shed enough tears over this situation. I'm done. I'm moving forward. And once you feel like you've cleansed and you've released enough, I have these more masculine energies spiritually from the other side, and literally in your life coming to you and saying, wipe your tears, get up, you've got this, okay? Just brush yourself off, you got it, we're going to keep going forward. And it's for some of you about your money and your finances, okay? And for some it could be health related or other circumstances. But it feels to me like sort of bury it and let it go. And, don't look back. I think of Sodom and Gomorrah, don't look behind you or you turn to ash. Straight ahead, dead ahead. Focus on where you need to be and what you're rebuilding, not on what you had and what you lost. Forget it. Leave it, okay? They're going to be helping you with that. Pisces, last one of the zodiac. Pisces, what is going on with you guys? Okay. On Sunday the 5th, there's talk of love, the heart. Again, it means anyone who resides in your heart. Family, friends, lovers, anyone. Now, what they're talking about with this is that you have two separate relationships that appear to be going forward or moving up a level in such a way where you are really grateful and you are feeling like this person somehow came to, I don't want to say rescue you, but it's almost like, wow, you know, when I was feeling that I was down and out or in hard times, look at who swooped in, and it's almost like the universe sent them. Okay, it's making you question bigger picture thinking, like, you know, God, the universe, and synchronicity and stuff like this. And it's coming in one avenue from a friendship or from a friendly type relationship, and the other one felt to me like a lover of some kind. And there was talk from this lover of an engagement. Now that can mean an engagement, that can mean marriage, that can mean that there's some type of a decision to, you know, bond this relationship into a long term where maybe you're not talking to other people or something like that. It's a commitment to a higher degree. And my feeling with it is that you know, you kind of want it, but you're also sort of like, I don't know, you know, I don't know. Sometimes when you're going through some change or you're feeling a lot emotionally, it may not always be the best time when somebody comes and they want to over engage, you know, with you beyond what you've processed. And so it's okay to take it slow. It's okay to take it slow. And it's fine. If you feel all right about that, you feel positive about that, it's okay to, you know, sort of be honest and just, you know, say that you're going to take some time, but I don't feel that you should full out reject it necessarily. Okay. Now on Monday, the 6th into Tuesday, the 7th, I saw an increase with your finances, but not in the way that you might think. It was almost like temporary, or it would be something where maybe a boss says to you, you know, I have this extra job for you, or here's this extra income. I'm going to throw this at you. Could you take care of this problem? Or here's another position or another job opportunity opens up and you're like, well, I should take it, you know, just because it's here, I should. And I feel like that's fine, but I don't think that you should look at this as something that's going to be there maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 months down the road. Okay. Just be mindful that if it's extra, that's great, but don't forget that it's extra. On Wednesday, the 8th, Thursday, the 9th, Friday, the 10th, I'm hearing that you're doing an evaluation on where you really want to be. And it feels like things are going pretty good for you. You know, things are moving pretty swiftly and you're figuring a lot out, but you're also really not exactly happy with where you are. So whether it's the actual living situation in the house or apartment, or it's more about residency on a larger scale. Is this even the state I want to live in? Is this even the country that I want to be in anymore? You know, you feel very anxious to me, Pisces. I just feel like you're crawling out of your skin to get out. And it's almost like, you know, you're this butterfly and you're in the pupa stage. You're getting ready to, you know, come out of the cocoon and spread your wings. And I feel great about that. But, you know, everything is lined up for you, but you do want to dot your I's and cross your T's. And you may be looking at doing some of this with somebody else, you know, like a friend, a love partner. And it really is time to take this other person into consideration and say, you know what, we're pretty solid. Let's go forward and make this change. Now, for some of you, it felt like it had to do with your career and your money, your job, and you're saying, I want to further my training, further my education. I want to get out of this field and start using, you know, the degree that I have. I'm going to make some bigger changes here. But for 3 days, you're really analyzing everything in a nutshell. I feel good about it. Sunday, the 12th, I heard guidance from your ancestors. And this was actually coming up on Saturday also. So expect very vivid dreams, a lot of ringing in the ears, messages coming in through your mind, visions, things like this, visits from your loved ones, your guides, your angels, God, your higher mind. They are coming to give you support and direction about what's next, because for you, it feels like an awfully big chapter. Everything based on prosperity, but shedding of your old skin. Thanks, everybody. Those are your weekly horoscopes for Sunday, April 5th to Sunday, April 12th. And now we are going to get into your questions. If you are tuning out at this time, know that your individual horoscopes will be going up on my YouTube, and the next Ask a Medium show is Wednesday, April 22nd. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
How are the questions tonight? How's everybody doing?
Everyone's doing great. You're having a ball out there. How are you doing?
I'm tired.
That's the question, yeah.
I was Very, very hot, but I don't know. I feel like, are we loud? Maybe we should close that. It's getting a little late. Don't bother all the neighbors.
Yeah, they want to hear it, they can subscribe.
What's that?
They want to hear it, they can
That's
subscribe.
right.
Yeah.
No more freebies here tonight.
Moving that a little bit.
Okay. What can I do to help?
Nothing.
I'm good to go.
Yeah. I just don't know if you still want this, or do you want to move it?
It doesn't matter to me. You can get rid of that if you want. Sure.
Wait, it's not in the cameras. Wait.
Okay.
Oh, what's this guy?
Yes. I just want to say real quick that when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we are merging the Ask a Medium show and the Ask Ivy show. I'm not eliminating either show. It's just going to be rebranded under Ask Ivy, and it's going to be weekly. So at 1,000, please do like, share, subscribe. At 1,000, we will get weekly horoscopes, and I'll be taking all of your questions. Okay. I also wanted to announce real quick that we have a special Ask a Medium show coming up for those affected by COVID, whether you're an essential worker, you're suffering job loss, health conditions. Because of it, it's called In Trial Times, and exclusively for those people dealing with those conditions. That's going to be April 10th at 9 p.m. Okay.
Cool. All right. Let's get into it.
I'm going to let you do whatever
Okay.
here, so I'll just go along with that.
Okay, first off, we have one from 315.
Okay.
Is my divorce that is being planned out going to make me happier than I am now? And that's her name.
Slightly. Is your divorce going to make you happier than where you are right now? Not necessarily, because a lot of your mindset is that someone else can make you happy. A lot of your mentality is that someone else has the ability to make you unhappy, or that circumstances are dictating your level of joy, when in actuality, it's you. You know, it's you that should be dictating. Could you say back a little bit more? Sorry. There we go. So it should be you that's dictating your level of happiness and joy. However, this relationship has built up so much negativity and toxic energy that it is a drag. I mean, it would even be a drag from the outside. You know, someone sitting near it would be like, I feel tired, you know? So will it increase your energy level and make you feel a little bit more free? Yes. But I think that in hindsight, you're going to look back on this. If you continue to grow and learn, please don't, Jesus. And you're going to figure out a lot about, how do I want to say that? You're going to figure out a lot about being in control of your own life and owning your happiness and well-being, thinking of yourself more as a whole person and not as someone who is dictated so much by others and circumstance. So you're going to be learning a lot about that over the course of the next 5 years. And you may say, wow, that really didn't have a ton to do with the relationship. But yes, a little bit. Okay.
All right. Tina Ruff is asking, does my grandmother Doreen, well, she's asking about Doreen, if she has anything to say about Tina doing the right thing, leaving the man she's been with for a year now, and his name is Daniel.
Well, when I go over here with your grandmother and I go over here with Daniel's energy, basically what I'm feeling is that this was a dead end and that you had enough evidence. Your grandmother says that you had 3 to 4 different instances that would have really shown you that this thing was just dysfunctional. And it's almost like he doesn't care. And I'm not sure that he cares about anything really beyond himself, but I'm also not sure that he really has the ability to make the changes. And sometimes, you know, when you're with someone and maybe they say that they want to change, you do have to look back at some point and be honest about whether or not they're even capable of making that change. And I don't know that he is, okay, but I feel that you were deceived. And yes, she supports that, is very proud of you. She said, don't do it again. You know, just don't do it again. Just don't go back out there and create another pattern. You know, what are the lessons here? What is the bigger picture? Mm-hmm. And she said, don't wear your heart on your sleeve, because you can sometimes, it's almost like put on a mask, put on a tough face, and be like, well, I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. But once you get involved with someone, you do, you know, and you don't make them earn it. So it's don't wear your heart on your sleeve ever. It's sort of like make sure, okay, that this person is worthy of having you do that. Okay.
All right. This one's from 774.
Okay.
Says, it seems as if I'm always trying to put myself in the right path. I'm pretty independent and always take care of me. Never needed anyone to take care of me, but somehow still feel alone. A relationship that I put much effort into has recently failed, and I just don't know what went wrong, but I'm trying to move forward. Am I capable of being loved as a life partner?
Okay, that's a lot. So the question is, am I capable of being loved as a life partner? And this is her name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So am I capable of being loved as well? Yes, but you're not thinking that you're worthy of it. This is the first thing. It's almost like some of these are the same tonight. Okay. I created a class. Spirit told me about 2 weeks ago to create a class called Reaching the One to help with issues like this, because Spirit showed me that it was going to sort of, reach a boiling point, and it was going to spike, and that people are becoming more and more confused about what it means to find the one or reach the one. And it's also an illusion in itself that needs to be, explained. So I would highly recommend that you check that class out. Brand new, coming up. What is the date on that?
The 24th.
Okay. And so, could you sit back? It's just like tonight, I can't tonight. So it's sort of like this. You have to, first of all, picture what it is that you're worthy of having. And one of the things that I recommend to my clients is to write down things on a piece of paper that you are claiming to yourself. This is no longer about whatever crumbs fall on the floor or whoever lands in your lap. This is my order to the universe. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm claiming because this is what I'm worthy of having. And you settle for nothing less than that. And that's where you need to be right now. And it just feels to me like you're kind of like the other girl, just sort of on the waves, like wherever the wind takes you. And you have another issue. I would highly recommend the empathic awareness class, because you are overgiving. You don't have a healthy sense of boundaries. And that's why you feel that you're always a martyr or you're put in a victim position and you're never getting back. It's that empathic ability at the 3rd and the 4th level that really clouds our judgment about what we should be giving and what we should not be assisting with. And you don't seem to understand that line. So I would say that if you clear those 2 issues up, absolutely, you will be attracting and able to receive something healthy. Yeah.
Kelly Mall is looking for a message from Scotty. She says, I feel a lot of guilt because I wasn't speaking to him for a few years before he was murdered.
Well, I don't know if he had problems with like drugs and alcohol or scattered thinking, or if you did, or if it was sort of both of you. I get this impression when he steps in here that he wants to bring some healing to your heart and that he's been around the entire time. And he says, don't think I'm not here. Don't think I'm not around. And don't think that I didn't know when you were with me. He says that once he crossed, he was able to see things more clearly. And that involved knowing who was energetically sending love and prayers and thinking on him. I think that's just sort of the veil being lifted, and we understand energy between people better. And he says that you guys had a bond, and it almost feels like friend to friend or like cousin to cousin. It's almost like it's deep rooted, and it's very playful, and it's very sincere and sweet. And he says that, nothing will change that, but that he really did have some things to figure out. It also feels to me like you guys were either young or you didn't understand a lot. And at the time, that seemed like the right thing to do. I think that you were setting boundaries, or you didn't know how to handle the conversation. You didn't really know what else to say. It became awkward in some way. And I think that you did what you thought you needed to. And I feel that that was accurate, but he loves you very much. He is using numbers to let you know that he's around. So you're going to want to Google those, numerology. Okay, look them up. He also uses technology, which means batteries draining, your phone acting up, technology flickering, lights flickering, burning out, the light bulbs, things like this. Okay.
Okay. Vanessa Dempsey
Okay.
is asking, am I on the right path for my life purpose? I meditate, I talk to angels, and I work as a case manager working with people with disabilities.
Okay, so Vanessa, you want to know what is within your life contract. I would highly recommend that you book a life contract reading with me. This is not something I want to answer in 3 minutes or less. That's too serious of a reading. So you could book a life contract reading with me anytime. But in regards to you helping other people, it feels to me, based on what I see in your contract here, like there should have been a shift. And we're talking 32, 36. We have some pivotal points. And those would call for redirection, meaning that whatever path you were on, you're just tweaking it a little bit, where in your case, because you were already helping people, but it's a little too hands off. It's not exactly streamlined, according to your work and money guide, sort of a streamlined way for you to be able to directly connect with some of these people. And it would be a situation where you want to take their healing up to the next level. And I think that you're one of these people who understands that the healing arts is not a business. It's light work first, business second. And I think that most people out there just don't get that. They see it as a business. If they see it as a business, that means that they go out with the mindset that they're going to fix people, or they're going to convince people that they can fix them. And people get hooked on that. And that's very foolish. You seem to come at it with a different mentality, and that is, I am not here to fix you. I am here to show you how to fix yourself. I'm here to show you that the universe is supporting you, and that there are ways that you can heal yourself and better your life so that you can then go out and heal others. So you have that catch fire mentality of a true light worker. And I feel that that's where you need to be shifting more. Okay, so are you in the ballpark? You're in the ballpark. Or is it that? No, it's not that.
Okay. Chris Rapp. I'm in a new relationship with a man, Joshua. I would like more clarity about the direction. Open guidance from his mother, Susie, or his father, Donald, or my loved ones.
Let's see. So Chris is in a relationship with Joshua. Where is it going? My feeling here is that Josh is a little, and Josh, when I go over here with Josh's energy, I do want to say, I don't have them here literally talking about this, but I'm watching. He has two separate loved ones who watch over him quite closely. One who would have more paternal energy, and one more maternal, looking more like a grandmother. I think with like lighter hair, possibly white. I don't think that she colored it. My feeling here is that they are always trying to help him to figure out what the heck he's thinking. They're always trying to help him figure out what it is that he's feeling. They're always trying to nudge him in a certain direction, showing him, indicating that this is really what you want, Josh. This is really part of your life contract. This is part of your soul's purpose. This is the lesson, Josh. Josh doesn't seem to get it on his own very much. Okay, so Josh may need a lot of direction. He may also sometimes represent himself as not needing any direction whatsoever. Like, I've completely got it, okay? Whether it be egotistical or just be very sort of like mature or sort of walled off or detached, he has a way of presenting as though like, I don't need help, I don't want help, I know exactly what I'm thinking, I got it. He doesn't got it. And he needs to be more introspective and really figure out what direction he's going in before he has more to give another person. So, it's basic in a nutshell. Until he knows what he wants, I don't know that he can give you like full undivided attention or commitment. So it seems a little bit up in the air. Even if it were offered, I would wonder about its consistency. Okay, so that's sort of where we're focused, is forcing Josh to look inward more. And I would highly recommend to you that you're not eager for anything more than what he has to offer. It is what it is. Mm-hmm.
All right. Latia Jackson is looking for a message from her father, Donald.
Donald?
Donald.
He is hilarious. He's super funny. I want to give him a hug. I wonder, though, if he had some issues, whether it be drinking or, confusion in the head. I just feel like there's sort of a confusion, in his brain sometimes, and it may have caused him to have to battle himself or to battle his reality. He feels very clear and concise now, and very funny. He loves you very much. He is almost like I miss time. I wish I had more time with you. I want to make up for lost time. He does tuck you in at night, which is going to mean that he's visiting you in dreams. So whether you're doing more astral travel, I would recommend the dreams class to you. Up on the website, whether you're doing more astral travel or this is just visit dreams, I think it's both. And I think it's moving more, evolving into more astral travel, which means that you two are meeting up in other dimensions, spending more real time. The big difference in these dreams is going to be that when it's a visit dream, it's short, and when it's astral travel, it's longer. There's more detail. He says that he keeps patting you on the head, and I feel like this is giving blessings, but I also feel that he says it's also my protection. I will always protect you. If ever something were to come up, whether it be financial or in a relationship or a warning about traffic or anything, he literally warns you. He is at the forefront warning you, like a soldier working to have your back, like a cop or a firefighter, you know. But that's not originally, he talks a lot. So hold on a minute. That's not even what you were going to say. What was that? Oh, okay. So it's sort of like, I'm proud of you, is originally what the message was going to be. And it's about your strength. So I don't know if you just went through something in the last 2 to 4 weeks, or if this is like 2 to 4 months, but he says, you know, she's going through something. She's going through something, and she just went through something. And so it feels to me like I'm going through something again, maybe. And he's so proud of your ability to get up, just to get back up. Okay. And to say, I got it. But he said, you know, don't be shy to talk, you know, don't be shy to let it out. If you need to talk to people, talk to people. He said, you listen to people all the time, but you don't know how to go and sort of ask for someone to reciprocate, you know, cash in on that. Just start talking. He said they won't run away, but I do feel like express yourself, because you and him, he had the same way of being, where maybe you processed your emotions and things a little bit better when you said it out loud. So don't hold it in, okay? He loves you very much.
Very good.
Talk of a red rose also. I can't tell if this is for you and or your mother, but there's talk of a red rose, which is birthday or an anniversary right around this time.
All right. This one is in regards to your psychic challenges. Crystal Van Way asks, when you posted your psychic challenge, I made a guess. Then later I meditated on it and changed my guess. It was closer, but I second-guessed myself because I was second-guessing my first guess too. How can I learn to trust the instinct?
Okay, so one of the things that happens when I put up my psychic challenges, I try to do at least one a week, and lately I've been doing more just to keep everybody busy while we're quarantined, and it's working. Some of you are getting far more psychic. Some of you are just realizing that you're telepaths. So I kind of want to break this up into 2 separate categories here to answer your question. Why is it, that you second-guessed your first answer? Probably because you were picking up telepathically on other people. Now, I'll post that. I'll say to people, go back and look at the patterns here. All of a sudden, out of the blue, you have one person say penny to the right, and you got 5 more that said something round to the right or whatever. I said, look at these patterns and see, are you picking up on things telepathically? And always, it is inevitable. Somebody will come back and say, I didn't read them. I didn't say you read them. I said you picked up on the answers telepathically. So what this shows is that we are far more influenced by others around us than we realize. And even if you think you're tuning out other people, you may not be tuning them out quite enough. And that can really influence your accuracy. It can really influence when you're getting intuitive information from your own self, or it's just being muddled by outside sources. So what you're going to need to do is to sort of figure out how much you're picking up on that. Now, if you are empathic at the 3rd and the 4th level, so I would start with that class, but I would also recommend the psychic mediumship course to you. You guys can register for psychic mediumship course for the spring semester until the 14th. After that, it's going to be the fall. So what you're going to want to do is figure out, what are you picking up on empathically? Because at the 3rd and the 4th levels, telepathy is a big thing for empaths. But intuitively, to sharpen your abilities, what you're going to want to do is take visual impression, because the way I created these is so that you can see it. And what I'm always hoping for you guys is that you look at it, you take a visual impression, and you go away from the computer, put your phone down, and close your eyes. have the visual impression up in your mind's eye, and then allow for the object to tell you or to feel energy or heat or like a pulling, a sensation. And you will have to go with your very first guess after you've cleared out everybody else.
Okay. That's good advice. Nicole Lanthea says her grandmother, Marianne, who she called Mayma, passed in 2012. She has her picture on her fridge, and her almost 2-year-old always grabs her picture. Does she come visit us?
Mayma. I love that. Yeah, she's definitely visiting, but really what's happening is that as a child goes from, 2 to 3 years old, they start to tap into certain brain waves and they become mediums. So your baby would be at that point where, maybe he's not just talking to her, but seeing a lot of different spirits. However, the ones that are around the most, are most familiar. And so, the baby would know her name or would be able to really identify her by, by this picture. And to the child, it's like real time. So they don't understand that this isn't someone who's technically here in the flesh anymore. It's just a relationship that they have going on. But you will see an increase right around this age. But yes, she's been around. Absolutely. She jokes about your pants. I don't know if you have like crazy pajama pants or like wild pattern stretchy pants. It's definitely not something that she would have worn. They also like flannels or stretchy, like yoga pants or something. But I feel like they're really cute. She just thinks that you're adorable, and she gives you like slippers or something, like some special socks, to wear in your feet, and shows you being comfortable and safe, and that she's keeping an eye on you guys right now. Okay, so rest assured. Yep. You'll see another increase with the child between 5 and 6.
Marlene Arenas is asking, she would like to know if her twin sister Madeline is moving soon near me. We've been apart for so long.
Madeline feels a little up in the air to me. I feel like she may have an order go out that says that, you guys could be closer together. I was also wondering if that might happen more for you. If you may have an order go out that could bring you guys closer together. Her energy right now feels a little almost like she's unsure if that's the right thing to do, or she is not 100% focused on making that happen. And so we could be looking at a lapse in time, which is going to mean that, this is the difference. Like I was talking on the free mini class the other night, this is the difference between free will future versus destiny charted. I do not feel that this is a destiny charted fixed situation that the two of you would be moving closer together. It technically falls into free will. So it's really whatever she chooses to do with it. But I do feel that once she kind of gets down off of the fence, that it would be fairly easy for her to put this together. So quite possibly. Yeah.
Okay. TK Truong is asking, can you let me know what you see in terms of my future love life?
Okay, so TK wants to know what is going on with the future love life. I have someone coming in who's almost like giving you a run for your money. I feel like you might be very talkative or like charming or funny, or like you kind of run a room. It's sort of like you run the show, and I feel this person coming in and almost competing for that spotlight a little bit, and it's entertaining. I also think, though, that it's very possible that you and this person will have to work through some issues where there's maybe some immaturity going on here, and it's almost like this person's immaturity may test any areas of immaturity that you have. So I do feel a very dynamic relationship coming in that would be destiny charted, meaning you have soulmate connection here as well as past life connection, but some karmic lessons. So I do also feel that it's important for you to understand that we don't want to take any relationship and say, this is the end all be all. Is this the one? There is no such thing. Every relationship is up to you, what you make of it. And it does have big potential, but not without a little hard work in the beginning. Okay. I also feel this person being very down to earth, though, and both of you having sort of a mentality about helping other people or the community and things like this, and working on projects together. So yeah, I do feel that that's pretty great. And I hear 4 to 6. Could be as soon as 4 to 6 weeks, but I was thinking more 4 to 6 months. Dark hair. They show it as short. Okay. But I think that's just right in the front. Yeah.
Kerry Watson is saying, I'm wondering if I will get the new job working with Liz and if it will be a good fit for me.
Yes. Well, I felt yes, and then I felt no, and then I felt yes. What that's going to mean is that basically, I do feel you getting it. Okay, highest likelihood. I can't give 100% guarantee. Technically, this is free will, but highest likelihood, I would say so. And as far as it fitting, it feels like it kind of fits and it kind of doesn't. I actually think that this position is going to help you to identify officially, once and for all, what you really, really, really want to be doing, what is written within your life contract. This is like the big wake-up call, this job. This job almost holds like a lottery aspect to it, and it's like the end of a journey for you. And you may feel very fortunate, to be going into it. And then just to realize, there's more that I want to do. This really still isn't even it. And so it's a yes and a no. Okay. But I do feel that it's a stepping stone. And I do feel that you're going to be sort of really kind of quiet. It feels like it's a comfortable situation where maybe you're not being as bombarded as you were in your old position. It's just a little bit more peace. And people there are more in control. Yeah.
All right. Linda Figuera is, how is my friend Sally Boy? He passed in July. Any messages from him?
How many more?
As many as you want.
Oh, really? How about 3? Okay, so Linda wants to know, Sally Boy, new people, please. Okay. Yes. How is he doing? Let me see what I'm getting from him. He says that you're holding yourself back. So so as soon as he steps in here, I feel like my ankle is tightening. Now that can mean that you did something to your ankle. I can't prescribe a diagnosis, of course, but it didn't feel literal to me. It felt to me like it's a symbol in my base of holding yourself back. And so he says that you're kind of you're restricting yourself. That there may be some opportunities for you to either volunteer or get engaged in some type of a project or some type of a relationship. So I'm feeling like there could be an increase in romance. There could be an increase in dialogue, whether it be on like social media pages or blogs or almost like community outreach. There's more coming up, and he just says, don't hold yourself back. He's leading and guiding you in some of that. And he says that you have a great sense of humor. And I feel like you have a beautiful heart and a great sense of humor. And he shows me all these pictures of like animals, okay, over here to the future. So you could also be doing more with animals. And I feel that, how do I want to say this? You may find yourself out there more than what you've been in the past. Okay, so he's definitely pushing in that direction. And it feels soon. So be mindful of him. Yes. He loves you very much. He just says you're funny. That you're funny. I feel like almost like a dry, sarcastic humor, like a sort of underlying observational, kind of humor. I don't know that everybody would get it, but he says keep making jokes, okay? Keep making jokes. Keep putting it out there. I almost feel like every time you make a joke, it's like energy around you gets elevated and more prosperity comes in. So it's sort of like a trigger for your prosperity to be more humorous, and it just feels natural to you. But maybe you've been suppressing it for some reason, okay, or feeling down. Yeah.
Diane Bat is asking, who's calling me? It sounds as though they're in the other room, but no one is there. It's a male voice. Can you sense who it is?
Who's calling you? Well, it's often guides. In this particular situation, I feel like it's almost a residual energy in the house. And so I'm wondering who else had the house, okay, or what else went on in this house. I think that you have someone saying your name who's watching you who isn't necessarily trying to get a message across. And so what can happen is that you become more mediumistic, you become more woke, you have an increase with your intuitive abilities. And that could be due to anything that's happened to you in the recent past. I mean, you could have gone under for a surgery, you could have gotten sick, you could have gone through a hard time. It increases every 5 to 6 years. We have a peak between 48 and 52. I mean, there are a lot of things that can happen. And What's happening is that you're starting to hear things that are there all the time. So I don't really want to focus just on this person because it's not just about that person. You should be noticing increases with your dreams. You should be noticing more spirits maybe coming up in your space and trying to talk to you, especially when you're sleeping or when the veil gets lifted at night as you doze off. And when you wake up, those would actually be your guides and a couple ancestors. But in general, your mediumistic abilities are increasing. So it's not that you're hearing someone new, that there's someone new there. It's just that you're newly hearing what's already been there. Yeah.
Alexandria Lombardi. Will I meet someone soon? What will he look like?
I see the water and I see Brooklyn or the Hudson, possibly in New York City. Element here, going on with him, traveling possibly or having roots there. And I feel that there's also a very well-dressed element. I see almost like, a pea coat and sort of like a button-down shirt. Now, what that's going to represent is that this person is not technically in ownership. He may not be owning his own business, but he may be higher up or very, very capable of owning his own business. He also, because I see a button-down shirt, means that he's very capable of being in management, or how do I want to say, leading, training people, teaching people, anything like that. And he has sort of this knack for teaching and educating, just with sort of a flair, with sort of a passion. There's also a passion for history there. And so I feel like he loves to spread wisdom, and he's kind of like a sponge. It's almost like it reminds me of like myself when something new happens or I see something new, I'm like a maniac. I want to research everything and I will become absolutely obsessed and just soak it all up. I see him doing this, and it's not necessarily for the purpose of giving it back out to others. It's just because he wants it. He wants to know. But then it's like it ends up being that. No matter what he does, he's always put back into that position. I also see very beautiful eyes, and they showed up as like green or hazel, but that can just mean like lighter eyes or sort of, a depth to the eyes. And I feel that this person's a little detached. So it's very possible that you like people that are really maybe more, emotional or maybe more attached or something like this. But I feel good about it. I feel that this may be a different type of person for you. And if you're used to having those kinds that are kind of emotional and attached, sometimes it's nice to be with someone who is detached, even if it makes you feel like, well, do they really want me? Do they really want this? Yeah, you don't have to worry about them. They take care of themselves, right?
Yes.
It's just kind of, just take care of yourself. You don't have to worry about them all the time. You don't have to babysit them. You don't have to, wipe their chins. They know how to handle life. This isn't someone who needs a relationship. This isn't someone who's got some codependent issues or, has to have you to hold them up. He can do this on his own, and that makes it even more authentic, I would think. So you may have to come at it from another perspective, but I think you're going to enjoy that level of freedom. So yeah, I do see this person coming in. If you're not on dating sites now, I would get on, okay? Because there seems to be a lot of technology involved in this one, okay?
All right. Christina Rosen, I would love to find out if my grandmother Marilyn has a message for me.
Marilyn. She's giving you roses. That can mean a birthday or anniversary right around this time, but some of them were white, and that can be healing of your heart. I see talk of your mother. I see talk of a brother or a male around you who may also need some of this. And there is a yellow rose in here, which is going to mean fun, travel, adventure. I understand that's hard to imagine at this time, but it is coming for you. There's some talk of a trip or a getaway or some new adventure for you. She says that you are sort of the matriarch and that you take on a leadership role with those around you in the family and in your social life and at work and kind of always, and that you have a little bit of type A personality, so possibly bullheaded, headstrong, type A, organizational, things like this. And she said that where you are right now, you're figuring out a lot about what makes you tick. And you're figuring out a lot about your strength and your abilities. And she said, this is no time to be fearful. So keep your eye on your strength and follow your gut instinct and don't listen to all the noise from outside, because you are that strong center. You need to be that right now, not just for yourself, but for everybody else. And I feel like blessings to the children, okay, like all the children. And she said that that you're almost getting to a point here in the next like 3 to 5 months. This could be as soon as 3 to 5 weeks, but it felt a little longer to me, where you're kind of getting up over a hump, or you're getting to the almost to the top of this mountain that you've been trying to climb. And that to me does feel like it's also about work and career. And I feel you getting to a place where you feel like, okay, I can see the horizon, I can enjoy the sunrise and the sunset, and I could take some time to breathe and enjoy what I've built. And she said, kiddo, you're like almost there. And then there will be one more move about 2 years after it, and you're at the top of the mountain. Okay, so she's helping you to get there. She does say that you're holding on to a couple cards, and it almost makes me feel like you're going to have to play your hand here soon. You're going to have to make a decision and put your cards down. But I feel like even though maybe they're not the highest cards, they are almost like a set, or 3 of a kind or something like that. She keeps saying 3 hearts, 3 parts. And it's almost like a 3 diamonds. And it's like you're going to put them down and you are going to win the game. Okay, so it's not that you always have to be in a power position. It's just that you have to, wear your poker face, and you have to know divine timing, and you have to know when to play what you do have. And I think that you're going to fare very well here in the upcoming months. She loves you very much. Okay, and tell the family that she was here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I want to invite you to join me again. The next Ask a Medium show is going to be Wednesday, April 22nd. When's the next Ask Ivy?
Next Ask Ivy is the 15th.
The 15th. Okay, so I will see you then. Again, a special in trial times for essential workers and those suffering from COVID, whether it be health-wise or through financial distress and job loss. That is exclusively for those people suffering on April 10th at 9 p.m. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.